We've got the rear end out. We've got the fuel tank out. We'll still have to take out some of these lines and stuff, but let's crawl under here and let's take a look at a few things real fast. And then I'm going to yank all these lines out of our way, get the fuel pump out of there, anything we don't want to get hurt. So that way we can start pulling the interior panels out and get to cutting these wheel tubs out. So as you can see, we got stock torque boxes upper and lower. We are going to stay with the stock torque boxes for now. This anti-roll bar has got to come out, and at least this front section of this spare tire wheel is going to come out. But what I think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take it way further back, and I think we're going to go ahead and put a fuel cell back here. I was doing some measuring, and I think a 15-gallon fuel cell will still buy us a couple of inches of clearance, and yeah, I think it'll be a little bit nicer. So I know when we go to do the wheel tubs that we are going to cut partially into this frame rail, and we're going to have to plate that, but the kit did come with that. So all of this section here is going to get cut out, and this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the lips being rolled. Like, I've cut a good chunk of this off of here, but it's still getting into it, and it may be even on these areas here where it flares out, but I've trimmed this back as much as I really can or want to. So yeah, we're gonna suck these tires in and still have a completely stock looking shell for a Fox body. So I think that's about all we've got to look at under here. So let's get all of these lines out of the way. Let's get that fuel pump out of here, and let's get to cutting. The kit that I went with for the mini tubs is Wild Rides Race Cars. So they include some really good instructions with colored pictures, which is, kind of hard to come by nowadays. And the other cool thing is they send you these templates on the inside of the shipping package. So you just cut these out, and then you can lay them right in here and trace them out, and that tells you where you need to cut. So we are gonna drill some holes through here because we're gonna cut this from the bottom side, because the frame rail of the car runs right through here, and we don't want to go all the way through the frame rail. Part of this is that you need to cap the frame rail right here. So yeah, we still need to make a mark 3/4 of an inch in from here. So pretty much about where this flat is, we're gonna run that all the way up. So we'll get that marked, and then I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and cut part of this spare tire well out, just so I can get up here in the middle and make it easier to move. And we'll have to cut this middle bar out too. So yeah, all right, let's make a couple more marks. Let's throw some sparks. That was a pain in the ass. So, like I said, I didn't want to get into the torque box. I'm going to cut this from under here so I can see where this lip is. Where we had welded in these adjustable spring perches for when we were in the factory location on the springs, that has added to the pain of cutting this out. So I just went ahead and trimmed out around the outer of the wheel tub. And now I'm going to do the rest of this from in here, because I think I can get a cut-off wheel in here and at least get a big hunk of this crap out of my way. And then if I need to, I'll come in later and drill off the spot welds. And just still don't have great access to everything. So yeah, let's keep that. Yeah, once I got those out, that was a lot easier. We still have quite a bit of trimming to do, and we still have to get back here to the frame rail. So I think what we're gonna do, let me see if I can get you up here to see the mark on the floor. Yeah. So we've got to come back quite a ways. I think I'm just gonna take the Sawzall blade, lay it up against the frame rail, and run it back until we meet that intersecting line back here. And then we'll cut the frame rail so that way we can get a real representation, because it does feel like we're going to get real close to being all the way through this guy. I know they send metal to cap it with. Like I said, I don't want to cut all the way through it. So yeah, let's trim this up just a little bit more and then we'll check back in. So we've been sneaking up on this, and I believe that this right here is about final fitment. I need to do some finish grinding and straightening up of this just to get ready to cap this frame rail. So ended up not too awfully thin. I mean, there's not a lot there, but enough to cap. I ended up using the air chisel to knock all these brackets off. And then I ended up, where this frame rail rolls over, I ended up trimming the front of this to be even with it. And it ended up looking pretty decent. So I ended up having to pull this back pretty close to this torque box. So we're obviously going to be welding all of this up. We're going to put some extra welds in the torque box just to reinforce it some too. But that right there is about what this is going to look like. And I think since I'm sick, that has about whooped me for the day. So I'm going to go home and get some rest, and then come back Monday and go ahead and cut the other side out. And that way, all the prep work's done. Like I said, we'll grind all this and get it nice and cleaned up. Get that side cut out, and then we'll do all the welding at once. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some rest. I'll go ahead and cut that one out. In the next clip you see, we should be doing the final fitment and starting to weld. It is now several days later. I got really sick and was laid up for several days. So we're gonna start working on the driver's side. I apologize for the loudness, but it's like 10 degrees here right now. So heater's gonna be going. Maybe I'll do some voiceover stuff instead of trying to yell over that, because as you can hear, I'm still not 100%. So this time we're gonna change it up, and I'm gonna cut that adjustable spring perch out first. Get that out of our way and follow the template guides exactly. I know it'll make it fit better. Wish I would have done that on this side, but no big deal. It's just sheet metal. We can put stuff back in place. So I'm gonna knock that out real quick, and we'll see how this driver's side one fits.
We set off into the summer night, and you're never gonna see us again. We set off into the summer night, and you're never gonna see us again. We went looking for a new sound, and you're never gonna see what we found. We went looking for a new sound, and you're never gonna see what we found.
Okay, getting that out of here was definitely a big help. So you can see where it's started cutting through the brackets on this one. So we've got a couple pieces where the Sawzall blade wasn't long enough to get all the way through. So we're gonna finish chopping through those, and then I believe this entire section here is ready to come out, and that'll really tell us how much better it was not having in there and how much we're gonna have to fix on the other side. Like I said, no big deal. It's just sheet metal. But who knows? We may end up doing the same thing on this side. Let me get these cut and let's look at this and see what it looks like. Okay, so we followed the templates on that side, And yeah, it fits really good. I did end up having to trim this area right down here some more than what the template said. They come with a little bit of a lip hanging off this front edge right here. And for now, all I did was folded that up 90 degrees to keep it up out of my way. But as you can see, we do have a little bit of a gap right there. So what I'll do is I'll end up hammering that flap down flat, and then we'll run weld across there, and then just hammer down our stock wheel tub and weld to it. Over here where we cut all the way against the frame rail, no big deal. We've got this little strip, and it's only this section right here that we're gonna have to put this in. So it'll still end up looking pretty good. But yeah, if you follow those templates pretty much exactly, you may still have to trim a little bit here and there, but it fits really, really nice. So, all right, I'm gonna get some plate cut to cap the frame rails, and then we'll be ready to weld these suckers in. Okay, so we went ahead and got the frame rail patches made. I'm gonna clean every bit of this up, and then the next process is gonna be to start welding. So it is another day on Mini Tub and the Fox Body. Today we are going to be doing some welding, and yeah, we've got winter weather rolling in again this weekend, so we're going to try to get as much done as we can. So that way if bad weather hits, just take a day or two and maybe relax a little. That doesn't sound right. Let's get to welding. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. So I'm going to start by getting this torque box edge back together and getting this taken care of. If you've ever done these before, let me know. Is it like they let a 12-year-old go with a thing of silly string or something with the amount of seam sealer in these cars? Because mine has been just a nightmare to get all that out of. So I'm going to get that done, get the frame rail capped, and then I think we'll be ready to put the Mini Tub in. We have got the Mini Tubs done. So I may put a little bit more weld on the inside where the tub meets the frame rail, but I think we've got this thing whooped. Let me flip this camera around and I'll show you the final result. So here we go. Not too shabby, not too shabby. We will still have to do seam sealer around all of it just to make sure that we've got everything nice and sealed up. You can see here that strip that I put in to take up where we had overcut on this side. But overall, I think it turned out really good. Not too bad for just doing it in the garage on some jack stands. So the next part of this process is to get all of this bracketry out, get those shock mounts out, and get that inside roll bar cut out. But that's another project for another day. Thanks for checking out the B.A.F. Garage YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.